and I look at this chart and more than half of the people haven't even made a task on our to-do list app. I'm like, shit, we gotta make some changes.
How many users do you have right now?
We've had like about 4,000-ish people download it.
So users are people that have downloaded it but haven't signed up.
Yeah, correct. Yes. Another big drop. Only 30% have completed a task. Huge like issues in the onboarding. I'll definitely be the first to admit. Well, how much do you know about Tashery? Like, do you have it?
I don't have it.
There you.
Well, I don't have ADHD. So
Corporate needs you to find the differences between this picture and this picture. They're the same picture.
So, I mean, you can use it without ADHD, okay?
I swear I don't have ADHD.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Yeah, like it's a strange thing with the marketing because like definitely for people with ADHD, like it started from people with ADHD through comments and stuff like that. The ideas that we're doing behind it and approach to it is for people with ADHD, but like that same stuff works for normal folks or typical folks, you know? And so it's like, it's tough marketing wise because I don't want to only be ADHD because then people who might be interested are like, well, I don't have ADHD, I don't need it. But lately I've been doing more of like a gamified to-do list that works really well to build habits, especially for people with ADHD. You know, definitely in the weeds on this. So, okay, first, I just want to kind of like...
From a design standpoint, from a product lifecycle standpoint, from a CEO, founder, app developer standpoint.
All of that, yeah. So, okay, like back in, when I first started doing like the design, I wanted to go be a game designer. But then like... there was like Full Sail over in Orlando.
Yep.
I actually did a tour of Full Sail. I was like, found some Reddit forums and threads everywhere. And everybody's kind of like, you'll either wash out or you won't, and you can do it on your own. I don't even want to like grind that hard. Like being in games, it's like just a mess. It sounds like just crunch hours and stuff. And so there's a lot of that. And I was like, well, what's the next best thing? Like designing websites and apps. And so that's how I started into this like world. But for me still, I don't want to die before I make a game that actually like gets players. So I was redoing Tashery and I was making this like minimal to-do list app and, they have this, but we have this, slight change on it. You know what I mean? And I want to go make games. I need to like get good at making games. So I might as well just put a game in this thing that I'm redesigning anyways.
Yeah.
And so that was where this whole idea of Tashery came. That didn't lead to signups as well. The screen that the downloaded people saw is they see like, hey, type in your email. And then if we don't have that email in the system, then we make a new account. 2,300 people continued and made their account. But then even then, there was a drop off to 1,900 people who confirmed because we would send a verification code and all that. We end up with like over 1/3 drop off from the point of download to the point where they see onboarding. Onboarding, actually a good amount make it through from there, like 99% make it from verified to completed onboarding. And that's what this looks like, just like a scroller. Kind of, hey, hearts equals birds and cosmetics. Plan your day, you get more hearts. Focus on the timer, get more hearts. Check off tasks, get more hearts. Your first bird's waiting, and then so when you press get started, you see this, and this is interactive. So basically like tap here to complete and sort of like a quick tutorial, but also like skipping also is complete too. We don't have a different event, so I don't know how many people press skip versus actually did all of it. So that's one like frustrating thing that we didn't write down.
You want to discourage people from skipping, right? You want to get them to complete all those. That skip button is way too pronounced.
Yeah.
It should probably be a secondary button. It's like either ghost or bordered.
Yeah. This is what's so tough about data is like, it's easy to say like, hey, we got all this data, but even just that, like knowing how many people skipped versus completed, like we don't have that. But then even beyond that, it's like, would this even matter if they did this? One of the bigger problems is people who made it through onboarding, there's another 500 people drop off who don't even make a task. Of the 3,000-ish downloads, less than half of them have ever made a task. Another big drop was that 914 out of 3,000. So yeah, like only 30% have completed a task. Huge like issues in the onboarding. I'll definitely be the first to admit. And it's like, that's the thing is like, it is not hard at all once you get through onboarding to go make a task. Like, they just write some shit down, you know what I mean? And then the keyboard comes up and just pressing enter saves it, or closing the keyboard saves it.
So you haven't done any sort of usability testing or like observing users using the app?
No. Haven't had time to. Just do that, I guess.
Do you want to watch me use it?
Yeah, maybe. Might be a good idea. I mean, I just gave you a lot of context, though, so I've already biased you a little bit. But
Don't worry.
you're like, I wasn't listening.
I'll rip it apart.
Well, we're back with Mike with the tripod, and the tripod is watching your screen. So, hope you don't have anything nasty on there, Andy. But yeah, go download Tashri. It's on the homepage of the App Store. You'll find it.
Is it?
No, I'm kidding. It ain't ready for that.
Don't fuck with me.
That's why we're here. We're not ready for that. Okay.
I had it at one point.
How dare you?
I was one of the drop-offs. Not to track. Okay. Would like to send you notifications? I guess I'll allow it. Hello, friend. Enter your email to log in or sign up. Come on.
We don't have a paste code. It doesn't work. So
Come on. Tick.
yeah, it's annoying.
Resend code should be on the left. Submit should be on the right. I guess if you're left-handed, it makes sense to be on the left, but my thumb's right here, and I just want to.
Honestly, I'm lefty, and I don't have. I hold it like you do.
Or you could just stack them on top of each other and do full width, and then people that are left-handed or right-handed can tap either way, and they're just stacked on top of each other. This could probably afford to be like a little taller and spread this out a little more. You're not asking for feedback.
No, I love it. I'm just staying quiet.
This is interesting. I know what this is from context.
Does it feel like it's vomiting on you?
It is. And I see those dots at the bottom. And as a designer, I know what I'm supposed to do. But my instinct, like there's no instruction, there's no guidance of progressing forward in any way. So
Doesn't let you swipe?
nothing.
Oh.
I didn't swipe yet.
Oh,
But I was just
okay.
like trying to tap. Like
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know that
We
I'm
should be able to
supposed
tap
swipe
on the
at some
right,
point.
right? Then it would move. That'd be dope.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Swipe right, swipe left, swipe right.
Story style.
Yeah, I feel like these visuals are great, but I feel like what you're communicating in the drawer is like the important thing, but it's so minimized.
Yeah, yeah.
So from a hierarchy standpoint, I think that's
There's a lot to like look at, I guess.
Plan your day equals hearts. Hearts equals birds and cosmetics. It's just like all new information. I get that that's what onboarding is, but I'm just like, it's like proprietary jargon inside the app that like I haven't actually gotten in the app to understand the connective tissue to like all these things, what birds and cosmetics and hearts all mean. And but that's what in theory what like all of these things are doing is like providing some sort of like legend explaining what all these things are. Focus on the timer equals hearts. I think these should be like more humane statements, not like equations.
Yeah,
But like statements that the user actually reads. Like when you plan your day, you get hearts.
Cool.
When you focus on your timer, you get hearts. Check off lines equals more hearts. Your first bird is waiting. Get started. What size is this text?
Should be 13 pixel.
Feels small. I'd assume like the whole thing to be tappable, not just the actual icon itself. And the icon is so small. There might be like a larger tap target area, but tap on next to manage a line. So that, or tap and hold icons to rearrange. I'm going to intentionally ignore the instruction and it works. This is a task. They become overdue if you don't complete them by tomorrow. Can I move that one? Yep, I complete it. Yep. This is a to-do. So you got tasks and to-dos. They will show up every day until they're complete, and I can complete that too. This is an event. They act like tasks used as blocked items in scheduling. This is an event. An event. Is that purple? Why a circle? Because these, before they were completed, they were like bordered circles, and this one being filled, I know like I've learned the behavior that a check mark means that it's complete, but if an outlined circle is incomplete, then maybe a circle icon also represents complete. And if it's an event, like I know it's not necessarily like a calendar event, but you could also use a like calendar icon represent some sort of like event. Also, just a suggestion. You're doing a great job at just like
I'm listening.
observing.
I'm gonna go lay down after this, but yeah.
A new bird has joined your tree. I still feel like especially like that line of text. I know you said it's 13, feels like super small and could afford to be a little bigger. This button, again, tab target might be sufficient, but that button feels so small for fat thumbs like mine. Rad Andy. Oh, I saw the dice. I didn't press it. But as soon as
How would you go about shuffling again? Or
is that what that was called?
leading?
I don't know. I want to bird, rename. I got there.
There you go. Okay. The other,
Ooh,
your
Fizz,
intuition was better.
Marshy.
We don't have that built yet.
Snicker, Bouncy Beak. Done. Ooh. I didn't have to like also hit save after hitting done on the keyboard. That was nice.
First positive feedback.
All right. So I got 0 hearts, 1 bird, 0 briefcases, whatever a briefcase
I know, that
is,
icon sucks.
and 1 tree. Are my birds planning on going on a trip and need some to pack up all their luggage?
It's supposed to be a chest of your inventory.
Oh.
Yeah, it's the worst icon ever. I need to fix that.
Chirp, there's still time. Let's get to work. Plan my day or snooze? I need to plan my day. What am I going to do? All right. So today's Friday the 6th. Yep. I'm assuming this button in the top right corner is going to add a group of some sort because of the like container with the plus icon. It's not just a plus icon. It's not an item like a task or an event or an important item. And so this agenda feels like a group of items, and if I press that, it's gonna add another set of agenda items. I can't do that. Oh, it worked eventually.
Tap target must have been off or something.
Catch all, add a task, and schedule it later. Reminders. Oh, that means later. Pick the kid up, brush my teeth, wash my underwear. They're important tasks.
Should have put undies.
Undies. Roast, Nolan.
Did you just lose that one?
Yeah. Roast, Nolan's. When I hit the keyboard icon.
You must have to press enter to save it on that one.
Nolan. I am not going to lose that one. All right. Select a date. What? Tag and tap and hold to drag onto your journal. Select a date. So I don't want to do this today. I know I am doing this today, but I need to do this tomorrow.
How'd you get to tomorrow?
Or not tomorrow, but Monday.
How'd you get to Monday?
I tap Monday.
That would be cool if you can drag it in.
Yeah.
We don't have that ability.
Okay. So, okay. Well, maybe.
What did you want to have happen there?
No, I am roasting Nolan's app today. Don't
see.
worry. Don't worry. I will roast.
I mean, but
Nolan's
it's already
app
happening.
today. So I want to move it to Friday.
How'd you do that?
I don't time. No.
I'll help you out. It's the go back to editing again. It's the icon next to the play button.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He says, "Really, really? That's the icon you picked, Nolan?
Are you sure? What's today? No.
It's 3:20.
We already got started. But because I added something, those like placeholders disappeared.
Which placeholders? Oh yeah.
These.
Yeah.
But if I was here, add a task.
Yeah.
But what about I added?
Yeah. Where are those?
3 lines to your journal. Yeah. Where did they go?
No.
Up here, I guess.
Bro, that tap target. What the fuck?
Yeah, just one
That was
on
bad.
my thumb.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this one. Add to journal. Pick the kid up. An error occurred. Your birds and to-dos are safe, though. Please try restarting the app.
Cool. We'll go lay down now. No, basically, so that button up top is the catch-all. So the idea is that we were getting some feedback early about, like, hey, I got stuff that, like, I don't need to do, but I need to jot it down kind of thing. And especially on onboarding, I think we kind of just dump you even still onto, like, an empty thing. And so, yeah, basically this is kind of like general stuff, not just your daily shit. It's like everything kind of thing. And then down here is like your daily kind of deal. The other side too is we're design. We just haven't like got to it of like cleaning that side up so you don't have to like do the whole drag thing. You can just like drop it in right away kind of stuff. So things like that are going to get a little bit better there. Yeah, it's a good call out on this stuff. And like I think the other thing too is, I mean, I don't know how long it took. Probably 8 minutes before you got in. And then even then you're done with birds and it's over. We have this point where I was doing all this planning and stuff. A lot of plans to make the game much more engaging and interlaced with the journal stuff, with the tasks. And I look at this chart, and we're more than half of the people haven't even made a task on our to-do list app. I'm like, shit, we gotta make some changes. Yeah, watching you go through it. Overall, I mean, there was definitely some clunkiness for sure.
I was like leaning hard into like ripping it apart.
Yeah, but
not to be like mean or critical of you, but like if you're genuinely trying to get like some beneficial feedback, and I got tripped up, I guarantee someone else is getting tripped up.
And that's what I'm saying is like the clunkiness. I mean, even before you got here, an average user wouldn't have spent, would have spent like 10% of the time that you spent flipping through those scrollers. Yeah. And
can't figure something out. All right, moving on.
And then really quick, let me just ask you, like, what is it to do?
You're asking me what a to-do is?
What's it to do versus a task?
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's like, you spent probably 10 times more time than an average user would have spent, and you still like didn't retain any of it. I think that's what's happening here with this graph. The onboarding or whatever needs to be more of like you're walking through it. Even that catch-all thing up top, like, hey, we shouldn't even show that until you understand how to add a task.
Where are to-dos in this agenda?
It's important is what it's.
Important to do.
Well, so the whole thing, and I don't have mine on, but there's a custom type, so you can like change those icons around, change the names around and stuff like that, and add new ones. For me, I have like a lot of custom ones that are work specific. Content is one, and that acts as a to-do because I want it to show up every day until it's done. Basically, to-do is kind of the same as important, where it's like, hey, this is kind of like top level shit that needs to show up and I don't need to think about it. But then a task where it's like check in with Sam or something, you got to do it, but it's not like a crazy thing that you need to think about every day. That's kind of where I was coming at it with this chat. Is I've got a lot of thoughts of like what I need to simplify, but ultimately it still is just an onboarding issue.
Each of these feel like individual types, but they almost feel more like statuses of all the same thing. Like an important to-do, a to-do and a task can be the same thing, but you should be able to mark a task important or an event important. I mean, event is probably like pick the kid up. That's an event, but I added it as a what?
You just put it in the catch-all, which comes in as a task. So
but like that's probably an event.
And so each of those have different properties when you change to the types to do that. We're getting some people asking for basically features that are in to-dos. They want them on tasks. I'm like, hey, that's just like in a task. I mean, you could just mark an event as important, and it would still be important to you. But then like to our system, treating an event as important isn't really needed because you need to put the time on and when you need to leave, right? But then it is because it should show up on top or something. And so it's pretty complex of trying to gather the intent, but then you have to train each user to know how to input it like in the intentful way. It's just breaking it down. I think what we need to do is merge it all together and say basically everything is a task, and you can just have a toggle of like show this until I finish it.
I mean, up until now, like I use reminders, iPhone reminders. I've like dabbled with some other task management apps in the past, and I just always gravitate back towards reminders. On the surface, I know this is a bird tree themed to-do list. I still don't feel like it's any different than any other to-do list. Like I haven't found that like motivating factor, that differentiator that sets this one apart from all the other ones, especially considering maybe I do have ADHD. Why would I use this one from another one? Like I see these like birds kind of scattered throughout the app, but where is my tree? Where are my birds? There they are.
You got there.
I got there. And I was here.
How would you get to the birds? About to say, but yeah.
That almost like that background should be like dark or something to like have more contrast. But then is the background black here?
Could be something we just darken as you
or like
up.
Like an overlay, like
yeah.
Modal, opacity overlay or something.
Where I've been at is I've been feeling like we don't have enough birds interconnected. Like it feels like it's just like a different experience kind of thing. And so we need to like blend it in more and have you care about it more up front. And then instead of like having your bird text you or whatever from the journal, more just interlaced with, I guess, what would you say would be the first thing we should tackle?
There was so many like micro interaction hiccups that I don't even feel like it's necessarily putting the birds in the trees more front and center is going to make me use the app more.
For sure.
It's like nailing those interactions and making them smoother and just like watching and observing how someone uses something.
Yep.
If one user expected the app to behave that way, there's probably another user
Hundreds.
that also expects the app to behave that way.
Yeah,
So just kind of like implementing some of those interactions, I think would go a long way.
Are you meaning, from the onboarding one or whatever, like this one? Like, are you meaning in there or after that?
I
or
think
before
after
then?
that.
Yeah. Okay.
This was so minimal. This flow could benefit from having a next button.
Okay. Yeah.
Or some movement with those screens where it's like pushing them out of view and pulling the next one in. Even if it's just on the first one. If it's on the first one, then
Like
it trains the user, okay, I need to swipe to
Okay.
get through these.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be on every single one.
Cool. And then like into here, those interactions, or you meaning once you got dropped into it?
Once I got here, these all made sense. There's just a lot on screen, and I mean that you could break those out into their own steps, but then like your entire onboarding flow potentially doubles.
Which I mean, for me, I don't think that that's like a bad thing. If we're already here, we're already at like 99% or getting through all of those steps. Like looking at you and what you saw here, like I think you probably stayed on these screens probably 3 or 4 times more than a normal user would be, and so.
But
and even still, like you probably weren't retaining much of it, and so
I was staying on it, and I was like swiping backwards and forwards and all around.
Exactly.
But like your users aren't getting hung up on these, but are they processing and comprehending
exactly
what these are? Or are they just like swipe, complete, move on, get this out of my way?
That's what I feel is happening, and that's what I was meaning about the bird stuff. I think that there's a way to break this down. Like first off, I think already tasks to do as an events, it's a broken idea. We need to blend those together. And then at that point, we don't even need to like sweat the rest of it. That cuts this down in half, which means that really we just need to teach people, hey, tap these to complete. But then even then, probably don't even need to dive into that as much as we do of like little management icons and stuff, like how to move stuff around and add things.
So do you want to design anything?
So one of the biggest things that we're changing around birds is birds are no longer going to come in blank. And so you instantly have like a bird that's already like more, and you name it right away. Basically, it's setting it up to where you're like kind of looking at this as like a character that you're taking care of. Focus more like Tamagotchi vibe. A couple of things that I'm going to trying to do is do more, like you were saying, like more focus on texts, right? Guidance. Like, so this is the new onboarding I've been playing with. You come in and you'll get the bird right away. You get to like pick which pattern you want and which color. You get to pick a name for it. And then from there, it kind of is like, hey, Jeffrey, we'll give you surprises for planning your day. And that's one of the changes that's about to come is we're about to add streaks. A lot of the stuff that I'm struggling with, and I like noticed was going like super over your head, was around like the verbiage that we're using of like events, tasks, like to-dos. It doesn't matter. You just want to write something down and give it a time or whatever, or not, if depending on your need. What I'm trying to do with the plan your day thing is make it more focused around the streak. Instead of planning your day, it's like, hey, keep your streak going by adding 3 tasks. And you're going to collect it. And it's going to auto add stuff, which will be part of the tutorial, confirming tasks and completing them and stuff like that once we get there.
I'm playing in May. Create a mobile-only bird theme to-do app for people with ADHD. Look and feel, styles, use Nonito Sans.
Oh, wait. Maybe do bird-themed gamified to-do list app.
Use Nonito Sans. Are there any like colors or specifics the Test Tree brand?
Maybe say like use the variables from that frame, because all the colors in there have variables.
Use ShadCN for all components. Do you use a component library, or is everything custom?
Baby.
What is important to include? What are some like core differentiators for this that we would want to.
Well, I guess like, what are we trying to do? Are we trying to get new UI for similar flows, or are we trying to get new like UX altogether? Maybe we don't bias it at all.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's a good point. Include an intuitive onboarding flow and simple task management. Probably don't need to include that because it already has the context of to-do list, but we'll see where it gets us.
Bird themed gamified to-do app. I'm Chirpy, your personal productivity companion. Together we'll build amazing habits. Love that I used the bird emoji. Built for brilliant minds. It's cool that it gave them experience points.
I'm going to take our prompt and feed it here.
Feather focus.
Welcome to Feather Focus. Your personal bird companion is here to help you soar through your tasks with joy and focus. What should we call you? Andy, Maya. Nice to meet you, Andy, Maya. Choose your companion. Each bird has a unique personality to support your productivity style. Robin, Sage, Zippy, Scarlet. Kind of like the same thing that you have where like you can shuffle through and name your companion. Wise and patient. That sounds like me. Sage helps you break down big tasks into manageable steps, building friendship bond. I love Sage. That's a weird
Button. I liked it.
wasn't actionable. I can't go backwards. Let's set your intentions. Complete daily tasks with focus, build healthy productivity habits, celebrate every small win, stay mindful and present. I'm ready to soar. You're all set, Andy, Maya. Sage is excited to be your productivity. Together, you'll turn every task into a stepping stone toward your goals. So I just went through onboarding. I know this is just a prototype, but after going through onboarding, I should be in an empty state with nothing completed. Add a new task. Some like spacing issues here. That text is super small, just like it is. And
Haven't you done enough already?
see, like these all feel like the same type of thing. They just like have that chip that represents like the status, or not status, but the like type of to do or task that it is. I like that.
Well, look, Sage said something to you.
Woohoo! Great job.
You click on it.
Ready to tackle the day? You've got this. Feeling productive?
What is the settings on the add new task?
Settings.
Like press add new task. What happens? It's weird that there's like point systems to it. It's like press it and then there's no additional settings on them. Just adds it. Oh, there you go.
So creative task has a task title, description, and difficulty level. Important task title, description, difficulty level. Routine, same thing.
Is there a third? Oh, there's a third and fourth step, right?
These.
Yeah. Did you add one already? No. Those are already filled.
Yeah.
The other ones, okay.
Continue. Time estimate, 5 minutes, 15, 30, 1 hour, 2 hours, 4+ hours. ADHD tip. Breaking tasks into smaller time chunks helps maintain focus and prevents overwhelm. You can always adjust as you go.
That's interesting. Mine did the same thing on the prototype. It said that on the bottom when I was adding break larger tasks into smaller specific steps. This makes them less overwhelming.
Ready to add task. Test, health, hard, 15 minutes. Reward points, 30.
All right, almost there.
Completed. So 30, 15, 25, and 10. Those are stars.
So do you like the wizard approach, or do you prefer something like this where you've got like a big menu, or neither?
I like the wizard.
Like yours, like where it's like step by step.
Yeah.
In the journal, what I've got, there's parameters on the bottom. You can choose them or not. You press that and then it pulls up a time sheet kind of thing. Like if we merge to-dos and tasks and events together into one thing, we'll probably need to do more of a wizard. And that might be a good way is like expand to add those details if you want. You don't force them.
Information icon
Mm-hmm.
off to the right indicates that.
And then we made it where like when you tap time, it auto puts like now, and you can add plus or minus time kind of thing. But
At the very least, when time is selected, the keyboard should change to a numeric.
well, here, let me show you what time looks like. When you tap time, it goes like this, and then you can tap again to like get the material UI, or you can press the plus or minus and it adds like 15 minutes at a time. Well, yeah, I've got a lot to tighten up.
Hope I didn't hurt your feelings too
No,
much.
I mean, the truth is like I've like known a lot of this stuff was clunky, and we're in a spot where I've been working on it for a while, but like it's finally out, and so now it's like the starting line. And so that's where I'm like, I need to change all these things. And like, I'm feeling really that I need to make a lot of moves on a lot of it. But at the same time, you know, I think at the end of the day, it is about slowing down and making it simpler, more like across the board. And I had this like crazy train last week where I was like, I'm going to redo the whole system, game mechanics and stuff. Let me just like check the data to make sure. And then it was like, well, shit, like barely anybody's even getting to birds at all.
Yeah.
I think that that's like our differentiator is the gamified stuff. And like, we're not going to beat Apple at reminders, right? We're not going to beat really a lot of these apps that have already like been entrenched players with like shared lists and stuff. And so like, we won't be able to chase those people down or those apps down. Maybe one day if we're like really established. Feel every time we put out more stuff, making more to-do stuff or productivity like features isn't going to let us beat them. Mm-hmm. It's going to be finding a way to like get you really hooked on the birds to the point where you're like, oh, I need to check on my birds. And then you're like, well, shit, actually, I do need to do that task. But we can't even get there if we don't make you care about the birds, which we
Sure.
don't do that now, like don't much right now. And then also make it where it's really easy to feed the birds happiness by being productive. But I think more it's the micro interaction, just removing friction across the board on managing and inputting tasks and like making it just stupid simple. There's so many ways to skin it. I could tackle onboarding, but then onboarding won't matter if we don't tighten up the journal and make it really easy to add. Just watching you click that catch-all button first, I was like, fuck, like, you know, I totally see why. We've overbuilt some things and underbuilt a lot of the other things, and yeah, we just got a long way to go. That's what I'm feeling. Also feeling fuck you for not liking my app.
No,
I'm joking.
it's cool.
It's really
It's
good,
cool.
Nolan. You should be proud of yourself.
It's cute. It's a cute app.
You know what though? Like the birds are cute, so they should be. You should call it cute. You know, that's the real thing with startups and apps and products. Is like when you're building this stuff on your own, there's a million things I got to go do, right? And a million things we could go do, and there's so little resources. And you working on one thing means you're not working on everything else, and that's like the hardest thing about being a builder. And you just constantly feel like you're making the wrong decision on resources. That just like it still kills me. Of like fuck, like I don't have the time to do all the things I want to do, and it's really easy to get caught up like making bird mechanic changes when that's not really the problem, you know?
Yeah.
So
I realized I never came back and looked at Lovable to see what it created for us.
it's funny, it uses emojis and it kind of bounces them the same way Make does, right?
Yeah. What should we call you? Andy, comma, Maya.
You should just put like comma, like the icon comma, or what is it? The
That?
symbol? I need Maya. Yeah, there you go.
You are, I believe in you.
Really
So simple.
Just jumped you in.
What needs to be done? Roast Nolan's. That's definitely work. Pick up the kid. Personal health. Go to the gym. Fun. Sit by the pool. Did this. I can't like
You can just delete.
no settings. No time frame.
Mm-hmm.
Just complete. This is super simple. Even though I gave it the same prompt we gave it everything else. Figma Make. Look at you. Stepping it up. I think it's that Claude Sonnet 4 improvement that really is taking Figma Make to the next level. So good on them. Yeah. Anyways.
That's cool. Well, got a lot to do. Got a lot to test. So thank you for destroying me today.
Yeah.
Appreciate you. Oh, by the way, we have a Patreon, and if you want to join our Patreon, we have deep dive expansions where we go in Loom and just kind of talk to you and show you the behind the scenes stuff and what we think is important about the episode. So if you want to join over there, head over to patreon.com/UX Outpost. I'm going to get better at that next time. So,
Yo. Sweet.
bye.
Peace.